on.
We got work to do.
So I come back and now you're a hat guy, huh?
Hat guy now.
You're a hat guy? When did that happen, huh?
While
I was gone?
This morning.
Oh.
Just like, what am I gonna do with this, you know?
Still looks good.
Look at this.
Oh wow, it's getting long on top.
I need a haircut. I got these wiry grays.
Oh. I'm telling you, the grays look good.
Fuck you.
Oh, baby. We here.
We're still.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. And this is G.P.S.
Wow.
We're back.
Tom is back from New Australia.
Close.
Off Zealand. Easter Island. Point Nemo. Where'd you go? Who are you?
Hey, look at that, Perna.
Yes!
Lord Taco came in yesterday.
Oh! $100? Woo, Lord Taco.
Lord Taco.
You know how many tacos I can buy with that?
Not Seriously. As many because inflation.
Yeah. Economy is not great.
Yeah, and then plus you have to pay for the gas to go and get those tacos now, and that's going to cost you more than the tacos at this point.
Although the worse the economy does, the more money Lord Taco gives.
Lord Taco's the Fed?
Maybe. You invested in bonds? Treasury bonds, Lord Taco?
No, James Bonds.
Just the James Bond franchise.
Yeah, Amazon. There's been a lot of news about James Bond. I'm assuming there's going to be some news soon. Are you going to play the clip, or are we just going to...
Oh, I forgot we do that. There we go.
It doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass.
Do you not love John Elway anymore? Is this you're a hat guy and you don't love Scooter Elway? There's a few things that we do on this show.
Johnny John!
Remember that one time we did like 30 Scooter Elways that one episode?
Yeah, because the hundos just kept coming.
Yeah, that was a time. That was it. So hey folks, we're back. Good to see you. Brandon Perna wears a hat now. I have more gray hairs. This is also me tan, so not much of a difference. Dude,
that's pretty good.
I stepped out because it's starting to transition into fall there. It's like at the tail end of their summer. But I walked out in Queenstown because they had their ozone layers a little thinner, so that sun is a bit stronger. Holy cow. Just walking around was, I feel it. I put on sunscreen every day. Just like I put on sunscreen every day. Didn't get no sunburn. So protecting the skin.
You should. I mean, you really do want to do that.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Make sure.
I forgot. I'm pulling a clip for us to help catch us up. What was before we get to NFL stuff? What was your favorite part of your trip to New Zealand?
The hiking was just incredible, man. I mean, that's what I did the vast majority of the time. It's just hike. Like every day I went hiking. So yeah, the last hike I did was a 12-mile hike, which was really nice. Like the landscapes were awesome. I was like, when your responsibilities are, okay, I got to wake up, drive to my hike, and then be done for the day and like go eat dinner. It's a good day. That's a fair level of responsibility that I'm like, wow, this is a vacation. So to be able to do that for 2 weeks in a place I've always wanted to go to, 20 out of 10 experience.
Did part of you think about just never coming back?
There was a few parts, yeah. There was a few parts where people were like, so do you want to move here? They go, where are you from? And I was like, originally from New York and now Wisconsin. They're like, the States. There was a lot of that.
Oh,
Yeah, they're like, gas prices. I'm like, yep, sorry.
that's you own any red hats?
Yeah, I was like, no.
You like those red hats?
Yeah, it was a time, but yeah, man, it was a beautiful place. The people were dope. The wine, oh my god, I just want to ask like, oh, how's the beer? I had like maybe like one beer, but wine, they
Nice.
they know how to make wine in New Zealand. It was very different. That's right. Perna got that DILF energy.
Dad, I'd like to fornicate. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Yeah, baby.
Look at that. You got away for a little bit. Also, it's Jess's birthday. Happy birthday, belated birthday to Jess. Happy birthday.
Jess turned 100 this last week.
Oh, wow. She looks great.
Yeah.
Is it just moisturizing or?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. She's 100 years old.
Wow.
It's a miracle. She had Carmi at 95.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know why that didn't draw more attention, but it didn't.
That's it. I literally
we went to Estes Park. I bought a hat so everybody knows that I was there. We did the mountain coaster. It was sick.
I saw that with you and Carmi. That was very nice.
She loved it.
That was awesome.
Loved it.
So now she's just going to be an adrenaline junkie. And I mean, I jumped out of a plane.
That's not as cool as a mountain coaster, I don't think.
That's fair.
Yeah, I saw you doing that. I was like, fuck that.
Dude, there was, again, the lead up to it, like a month before, my stomach was in knots. I was like, oh man, I forgot I signed it. Because I did all of this planning back in November. And so now that it was, I was like, oh God, like I have to jump out of a plane and it's on April Fool's Day. And then as it got closer, yeah, I think I might die. I would have had to laugh at your death every year. As you should have. Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Tom Grossi died on April Fool's jumping out of a plane in New Zealand. God rest his soul.
Honestly, if that was the way that I went, I was prepared. That's a good bookend to my life. It's just like, how'd he die? Oh, he jumped out of a plane on April Fool's Day. Yeah. Oh, he's dead for real this time? So then AI could put out all the articles that they want.
Yeah.
It was, I was relatively calm. I was talking about this last night. We were streaming. And the thing that really got me is because like it takes like 10 minutes to fly up to 15,000 feet where you jump out. And they opened the door. And I was like, okay, it's a little windy. And then the sound of the people in front of you getting thrown out of the plane, that was what kind of got me. Because it was a whoosh like that. And that there was like 3 people in front of me. I was like, ooh, okay, this is happening. But yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, I would have to be forced to do that.
But you're strapped to a professional.
Sure.
Like that helped a lot. That helped a whole lot. I had Boris. You've been doing this for 25 years. Yes. Boris is cool.
Boris the spider.
They also do Boris the Stegosaurus. That's a real deep cut. Yeah, that's literally the first thing that I put in the rundown. That now, because the Buffalo Sabres have made the playoffs, the New York Jets currently hold
Jets
longest playoff drought in all of North American sports, with 15 years without a playoff appearance. So, Congrats, Jets. You did it.
Every time I hear Aaron Glenn talk, I'm just like, the Jets are so screwed. Like, they're just screwed. If Geno Smith can snap their playoff drought, that'll be so fitting just for the Jets as a franchise, the state of the Jets. I kind of, oh man, if the schedule makers are good, the week 17 game will be Jets versus Seahawks, week 18 game, and the Seahawks will defeat the Jets with Sam Darnold to keep Geno Smith and the Jets out of the playoffs. Obviously, that's not going to happen because it's division games, but that would be the best way the season could conclude.
I think just Sunday Night Football, Geno Smith versus Sam Darnold. That's week 1. That's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah. Where did Zach Wilson sign?
I don't even know where he is anymore.
Oh my God, you have been on vacation.
Yeah, it has. Saints.
Went to the Saints.
I
want to see the final games. The Jets just have to go through their old quarterbacks, and they lose all those games. Jets lose to the Saints. Jets lose to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson's filling in for the Saints. So,
because Shuck has already won them, 15 games.
Yeah, they're already in. Yeah.
Where does Perna saying 20? What?
20-15. 20-7.
I've never heard you say this ever, and I've known you since 2015.
Yeah, so I said it in a video a long time ago. It's in reference to Abe Simpson. It's a reference to Abe Simpson.
Mister, it makes you feel bad. I've known him for 11 years, and I've never heard him say it once.
And people get so annoyed because I don't do it correctly. So I've just continued to do it incorrectly the whole time.
Yeah, that tracks.
So every video I do, somebody will take to the time to explain why that is incorrect and I should not be doing it. And at this point, I don't even know I don't even know how you actually do it anymore.
So wait, I don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah. When I read a year, I'll just throw in aught and I'll just say 20-15.
What? You do this in your videos?
Yeah.
I don't watch enough of your videos.
Yeah, we don't watch. We
don't watch each other. We're totally different people on our own channels of doing things, and then we just come together. Also, did you do clickbait while I was gone?
I don't think we've done a single clickbait. Last week, nobody even texted the group thread to see if we were doing clickbait.
Because I tell this to people all the time because they'll ask during the season, like on a Monday, they're like, is clickbait happening this week? I was like, we find out if clickbait's happening like 2 hours before the show is supposed to happen because someone will text the group chat and go, hey, we doing a show this week? And that's the amount of preparation we do for clickbait. Thank you.
I had my tax. I was doing taxes last week. I had my tax appointment. So I was totally just focused on that. And I was like, oh, shit, nobody even checked to see if we were doing a show.
Yep.
Anyway, here's the most important thing you missed while you were gone, Tom.
You tell me.
Denver Broncos, J.K. Dobbins.
I also love to touch, kids of, a different type of upbringing. I love to touch the kids who don't have it as fortunate as others, and so.
Pero Bo Nix es especial con.
I also love to touch, kids.
The most, I feel so bad just playing it. Poor J.K. Dobbins, but the most unfortunate soundbite belongs to my favorite running back in the NFL, J.K. Dobbins. Just doing good work out there.
There was.
I've been waiting to play that. The moment I saw it until you got back.
I didn't think it was going to be real news whenever you said you were uploading a clip, but I did not.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
Poor Jake.
I don't think we need any other clips at this point. They're about to take that gold play button away from you.
That's what I want to say. I can't. Thank you. After the stream last night, did I spend like 15, 20 minutes? I called Maya down. I was like, hey, can you just tell me if this is like straight and even? And it took me a while to get it to this point. So yeah, it took a hot minute.
You need a level for that.
Yeah, I used a tape measure and it didn't work. It didn't work out well. So, measure 18 times, cut once. That's what they tell you. On, I got you. I don't even know how I follow that up.
Tough to follow. That's a tough act to follow.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to talk about the Jalen Hurts thing real quick, and I think this ties into it.
Perna raid. Who the fuck is Perna?
Okay, so I saw that you did a video on Jalen Hurts, and I was asked yesterday what I thought about the Jalen Hurts drama, which I responded, I had no idea that there was. My phone was on airplane mode for days. Like I didn't touch the internet. And then I was like, all right, I should probably look this up. Please correct me is the controversy that Levante David was like, we didn't really have to prepare for Jalen Hurts. Is that what the controversy was?
No, that's just some aftermath bullshit.
Okay. And then I saw Cam Newton said something about Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Like not being the guy. So what is the origin of this Jalen Hurts whatever that you did a whole video on?
Jalen Hurts has been secretly eating people. He's a cannibal. He's a cannibal.
Yep. I'll just. I figured when I typed in Jalen Hurts in Google, that would have popped up if that was the story that he was consuming people.
Well, it started. Somebody leaked Jalen Hurts' Spotify playlist, and it was Paul McCartney and then Cannibal Corpses.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, that's kind of weird. Turns out. And Cannibal the Musical as well.
Okay. All right.
Like, okay. That's
watched
odd
that Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix a while back.
That's the only thing he's watched.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he eats people. So now you're in the loop. Moving on to the replacement refs.
Yeah.
This is a situation, huh, Tom?
So what happened with Jalen Hurts?
Oh, you're not that you want more?
I don't know what actually happened.
More?
I thought it was just Levante David was crapping on Jalen Hurts, said that we never prepared for him and was just preparing for the run game. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But so
all right. Yeah, okay, sorry. Cannibal Corpse, singular, my bad.
Yeah, what are you doing?
God.
Also, yeah, Kirk Cousins in Las Vegas signed a big old deal, but it's really a 1-year, $20 million deal, and then they're going to probably wind up cutting him. I think it makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, no, that's a good sign. We could talk about that too. There's apparently a nice little loophole that the Raiders found to get him paid that $20 million, but
just like the Ravens found one to not trade for Max Crosby.
Yeah, there you go. All right, yeah, Jalen Hurts. So an ESPN article came out. Jeremy Fowler and oh god, I forget the other guy, the co-writer of it. They wrote an article. A long article about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, and they basically, I don't want to officially call it a hit piece, but the whole article is just criticizing Jalen Hurts. It insinuated that he is hard to coach, that he changed the plays too often, that the offense was stagnant because of Jalen Hurts and basically only Jalen Hurts. Then it said other things in there, like Jalen Hurts responded to Kellen Moore and Shane Steichen as coaches because they challenged him. So anyway, it's one ESPN article. It came out, and I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then literally every ESPN show that day was their biggest story was just talking about this Jalen Hurts article. And then Fox Sports, they're talking about this Jalen Hurts article. And then Mike Florio's like, ooh, this is the Eagles secretly telling Jalen Hurts if he doesn't play better, they're never going to pay him again. So it just blew up into this big story about the Eagles' offensive struggles and everybody debating whether or not it was Jalen Hurts. And it all just stems from one article with a bunch of anonymous sources from within the Eagles organization. And it just seemed unfair to Jalen Hurts. It just seemed weird. And it just seemed like a great story for the offseason when there wasn't a lot to talk about. And I was more interested, like after I got through it, I was more interested in the fact that nobody else had any other of their own stories to talk about. And I thought it became a reflection of we have all these giant sports media networks, but we have very few like actual like they have a fair amount of journalists and reporters, but
they're dwindling.
They're dwindling, and the lack of actual stories that are being, researched and published are so few that everybody just had to talk about this thing. Plus, it's Philly. Like Philly's a lightning rod for controversy like that because you got a passionate fan base, and they're going to come out and defend their guy, and then it just like Cam Newton, he said some dumb shit about it too. Like everybody felt like was just saying dumb shit about the whole thing and not taking the time to be like, hey, wait a second.
And this is like
for an offensive coordinator every year is also a big problem. Maybe the Eagles' offensive line being injured last year is a problem. Maybe Saquon
run game,
800 fewer rushing yards last year is an issue. Like, I don't know. It just became very silly. And now it's my best performing video. So,
there you go.
I mean, it was a quick one. I wasn't planning on doing, but yeah, that's what that thing was. Also, cannibalism.
Also the cannibalism, but that's secondary to this article. That was just a footnote at the very bottom. Well, I just perused that article. Yeah, I think what is kind of insane is this is what we're in April now. So 14 months after they won a Super Bowl, and Jalen Hurts put together like a really damn good like playoff performance, and then the whole offense was not good last year. Like you mentioned the O-line, right? And they had like a bunch of some injuries on there, but the O-line wasn't as good. Saquon wasn't as effective. And the run game, which really helped that offense in their Super Bowl run, wasn't there. Like it was multiple things. We were talking about AJ Brown. And Jalen Hurts definitely needs to play better than he did last season as well. But also Kevin Patullo, I mean, good God, that was like week 3. Eagles fans were ready to run him out of town.
Yeah.
So is this just, it's the off season and we're looking for anything at this point?
And I think like Kevin Patullo's play calling is the criticism there is fair. And I think it's hard to not say that this is that Kevin Patullo's it sounds like a fired play caller trying to blame the quarterback for the bad play calling is the way it kind of comes off. And I'm not saying he's the source, but it feels like he's the source, right? It feels like he's 100% the source.
His body language was so poor.
Yeah. I think if there's truth there, I think it's that Jalen Hurts didn't really trust Kevin Patullo as a play caller. And I think Jalen Hurts at this point in his career has kind of earned the right to not trust a first-year play caller coming off a Super Bowl win. And also, Jalen Hurts is a very good QB who has some flaws in his game, and they're gonna catch up to him when his athleticism sort of dwindles. And I think the Russ Wilson comp is fair, but like right now, he can still play well. We're like Sean Mannion, if he is a good offensive coordinator, we will see that reflect in the offense this year. And then we will see that man get a head coaching job well before the Eagles want him to be there. And I think they try to paint this thing where like these play callers leave because of Jalen Hurts. And I don't think that's fair either.
Yeah, Kevin Patullo, I don't think left because of Jalen. I think that was because all of Philadelphia was like, get out. Yeah.
And it's also reflective of like a quarterback situation's got to be good around him for him to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And there are just a handful of quarterbacks who buck that trend, but Jalen Hurts is a very good quarterback, but he needs the things around him to be working well.
Sure.
And I think like if you want to criticize Hurts for something last season, it's like his effectiveness situationally probably wasn't as good as it should have been. And I think their offense was way too predictable and they were able to eliminate Saquon. But it's the funny part about this too is somebody yesterday fucking tagged me in a Dov Kleiman tweet who is
always a great start.
Is like, is this change your perspective on what you made your video about? Well, it took all my restraint to not give him a paragraph of your quote. You're tagging me in a Dov tweet saying I should check myself.
Oh, it's also Jalen Hurts is one of those quarterbacks that is kind of a magnet for this criticism, right? And even before his Super Bowl run, even during his Super Bowl run, like they're like, oh, he's not the guy. And like he went out and he played really darn well. And I feel like while that offense was humming along, it was like, okay, this should silence a lot of folks now because like Hurts put together like a really good playoff performance. Obviously, they won a Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. It has not, I have seen though. But this also, you mentioned Philadelphia, and it is a hotbed for like, you are going to get a response from that fan base trust me. I mean, this is the fan base that bullied their team into running the football more successfully. So kudos to them. But I just don't know. Yeah, I feel like just because they went from, hey, we won a Super Bowl to we couldn't even win a playoff game. And it was, against the 49ers who were pretty beat up. Their offense is very good. It just is. It's a recipe for, you're going to get a whole lot of criticism. But if they come out and their offense is looking better this year, like you said with Mannion, then no one's going to care. But this also happened with Caleb Williams last year, right? Like there was that whole big article about Caleb Williams and like his coach, and that was how much of a mess that was. And look, Caleb Williams went out this year and played pretty damn good football, and the Bears won a playoff game. I don't remember who they won against, but I don't remember who they played in the wild card.
You don't know who they beat in the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't remember. No.
I think it was the Vikings.
I think so too. Aaron Glenn, I think probably had a better nap at the combine. I think, though I did sleep last night, I slept like garbage. The jet lag hit me, but I saw that too. So we put that in there. So Trayvon Walker, former number 1 overall pick, signed a 4-year, $110 million extension. I actually really like this deal because Walker has emerged as a pretty damn good player. You look at between him and Hutchinson got paid a whole lot more money. But I feel like this is a very like team friendly deal and like has a lot of upside for Walker. So I'm good with this for the Jaguars. I think it's a positive. Hutch probably would have been better.
Okay. It's okay. But, Trayvon Walker's been okay. He's been It's hard, like when you're talking about a guy like Trayvon Walker, it's hard to separate what he's produced on the field versus where he was drafted, and that's
where it is.
Overdrafted, right? Like he was the number 1 pick to the Jags and the Jags only, and I hope. He's only 25, so I hope he continues to develop, and it's not a situation where and Jacksonville for the they're not picking high in the draft, so
sure.
You got an edge rusher you like, okay, you can pay him. The continuity, that's all great. That's great for him. Mm-hmm. At some point, though, his statistical impact, it has to be bigger. He has to get to the quarterback more.
Not last year he didn't do it, but it was the 2 seasons before that he had back-to-back 10 sacked seasons.
More pressure and it. I hope it works. I'll put it that way. I've never been blown away by Trayvon Walker as a player.
I think it's more so it's what you said, right? Comparing him to Aiden Hutchinson, but then Aiden Hutchinson has been paid a significant amount of money, right? More than Trayvon Walker. I think it's what you said. I think the upside is there that if he's able to grow, this is going to age really well. Because I just think it's a team-friendly deal and a team-friendly contract. And their defense did get much better last year. I mean, it was very, very bad before then, but it did get better. So I feel... I don't know. The Jaguars are in a very interesting place, and considering the premium that pass rushers are being paid, I think it's solid. But hey, he's got to go out there and perform. That's it.
Yeah, I hope he's in that double-digit sack number. I hope his pressures are like 60, 70 plus.
The Artemis 2 mission. I saw bits and pieces of it. To the moon, if it really exists.
Is the moon real?
That's what people are. Not the moon landing. Is the moon even real?
Is the moon real?
Best part about New Zealand was the hiking. It was 100% the hiking. It was so beautiful. Just hiking in the mountains, sleeping. Yeah, I slept on a mountain, so that was really cool. I slept in a hut on the mountain in bunk beds, and you could hear avalanches around you. That was really
cool.
That was really
nice.
Cool. That was really nice. It was. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Josh Allen, they had their baby, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's news. Congratulations to them. There you go. Now, was the baby a vampire? That's the question.
Ooh.
Sinners.
Oh.
If she was a vampire.
Yeah. I don't think being a vampire is actually a sin, though. That was my beef with the movie.
I don't think that's
not a sin.
Oh, I met a few people.
Vampires, I think, as a genre, kind of fucking lame.
Two things. One, I met a bunch of people from Colorado and New Zealand. And two, how come you haven't hiked any 14ers?
I only hike 15ers, and we don't got any.
Do you know the person who holds the record for quickest? He's done all the 14ers, which is like 50 something in Colorado.
Yeah, John Elway.
That's not John Elway. He did it in like 6 days or something, which is crazy. You know where he's from? Wisconsin. Not even from Colorado.
Wow.
Look at that. I learned a lot on this trip.
Wow.
I learned a lot. So, hey, 2 months old. Let's go. There we go. Do I watch MLB? I got into the MLB a little bit more this past season because when I moved to Wisconsin, I was like 30 minutes away from the Brewers. And I was like, let me go check them out. And it was a lot of fun. I hadn't watched baseball in a very long time. My last game, I think, was went to a Rockies game in like 2013 or something like that. They weren't good. And it was like $20. I didn't know, $16 for like 3 rows away from the first base line. I got them at a grocery store. I'll never forget that. And then, So go Brewers.
Vampirism is definitely a sin.
It's definitely a sin.
To be fair, I've never opened a Bible, so I could be wrong.
To be fair,
I could be wrong.
I don't think they have stuff about vampires in the Bible. I don't just personal recollection going to like
on the
CCD
7th day, Jesus cleansed the world of vampires.
That's why he sent Blade.
Yeah. Yeah, Wesley Snipes and
that's
Jesus.
why Wesley Snipes came around.
Those vampires up, dude.
Hey, this is the season. Perna gets them the gold play button. That's true.
I don't think it's going to happen this season. I don't know if you guys understand what's going on YouTube, but
what do you mean? It's so great.
My only uptick in subs is because I said if we got a million in a week, I'd wear the Mark Davis haircut for a year. And that gave me a bump in subs.
Yeah, but you'll get it by the end of next season.
I don't think it will be by the end of next season.
Okay. We'll see.
It'd be nice, but...
you have 140 to go, right? 141?
Yeah, but I should be ahead of that.
Well, dude, it's the offseason's dead.
Like yeah, but even January, February, March, compared to last year in terms of adding numbers, down.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
It's a grind, my friend. It's a grind.
You like Kirk Cousins in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so Kirk Cousins. So I saw the first thing I saw was like it was like a 5-year deal and like in some insane number, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? And then I went and read into the contract, and it's basically like a 1-year, $20 million deal. Yeah. And I was talking about this for months, saying I would love if they got anybody there, so Mendoza didn't have to go out there behind that offensive line, and they just had that option, right? Because they get Linderbaum. I love that signing. It's very nice. Pay him a lot of money. But they still need to have a better offensive line. And I feel like if you throw Mendoza out there behind that bad offensive line, the one that Ashton Genty did not do very well behind either. Yeah, like I just feel like you can have a Kirk Cousins start for however many games you want, and then you throw out Mendoza.
Yeah, send the 38-year-old with a half of Achilles behind there.
That's what they do with Jacoby Brissett.
He's a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, 100%. That's why you're giving him $20 million to go behind that offensive. Because Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots did the same exact thing, right? When it was like Drake May, they're like, here, buddy, we have a terrible offensive line. It got a little better. You know, Drake May's still feeling those sacks. But here you go. You're going to go out for a bit until we're ready to start Drake May. And I just think that it makes a lot of sense for the organization.
I think the Raiders' offensive line is better than it's getting credit for. I think because in 2024, the Raiders' offensive line was actually pretty decent, even though they were terrible. And then last year, it took a big step back, and I think that has to do more with the coaching, the quarterback play, the coaching, and the scheme there. I'm not saying it's like a great offensive line, but I think there are pieces on it You mentioned Linderbaum, Jackson Powers Johnson
Mhm.
is really good. Colton Miller's been he's been, a little bit above average at tackle. So I think their line's going to look better just based on Kubiak and how they run things.
Oh, I think it's going to be better too.
But and I think you're right. Like, but this is what Kubiak wanted to do. I think somebody, I don't know, they called this back in like February that Cousins would be going to the Raiders, but he'd said, handful of times that his plan, he doesn't want to just start a rookie quarterback, that he believes in having a veteran in there and then starting the rookie when he believes that they're actually ready to go. So in terms of what their plan and their vision was, I don't know if Cousins was always the guy, but having a guy like Cousins there was part of the plan the entire time. So this just felt like, the logical step there. And conversely, this leaves the Steelers, who are waiting on Aaron Rodgers, they're still waiting on Aaron Rodgers. And so there's some people who are saying like maybe Cousins was an option for the Steelers, like if Rodgers is not going to come back. But the other older dude with an Achilles surgery, do they always have to replace each other? Or is that like they're always thought to be like, oh, if it's not Rodgers, we'll get Cousins and we'll be okay for a while. But they have one option now, it feels like, the Steelers, and that's Rodgers has to come back, or they're going to draft somebody. Maybe they're going to draft Ty Simpson. That was the other thing that happened while you were gone. Dan Orlovsky, I knew, and he got crucified for.
I thought that happened right before I left, or it was like right around
it
there.
was right there. Yeah.
It was, his take went viral for being so bad, and it was like, "Are you Ty Simpson's agent? Like, is this what's going on here?" And I feel like this is what happened though with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. Like this, there's always like a story, right, where it's like, oh, if you think this is the number one guy, well, maybe it could be this one. Like, I remember even when Caleb Williams, like that was the 1 year I went to the combine, and there was like some rumors floating around like, oh, maybe the Bears won't. Everybody I talked to, like, no, they're drafting him. Like there's no story here whatsoever. And so I do feel like there are times where it's just, hey, we're a couple weeks from the draft, things are super duper slow, let's do this. But that one went viral for, oh, this is like egregiously bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was just, I think the way the conversation happened, it got blown up in the wrong way. And I think Dan Orlovsky, I think he's high on Ty Simpson for a lot of fair and correct reasons. It was just he went back on McAfee and tried to clarify like what he was saying. And I think that's just that was a tough environment to say the wrong thing, because you got an entire show based in Indiana. And they didn't do him any favors. But I think it's like in a draft like this, I think we want more information on the other quarterbacks. Just that didn't come out the right way. But Ty Simpson could be an option. The reason I had said that is it could be an option for the Steelers when they draft. It is odd that it's April and they're still waiting on Rodgers. Like, we knew they would still be waiting on Rodgers, but the fact that they might still be, it's just like, dude.
Oh, I don't miss that at all.
Can you tell him?
I don't miss that in the slightest.
And now Rodgers, maybe he wants more money. He wants like closer to $30 million to come back and play for him. Some shit.
Hey, best of luck. Best of luck, Steeler. Because that's the thing. If you're a Steelers fan, you're just like, I just rip off the Band-Aid. What's happening. But again, if they just suck this year, I feel like it's good for the soul. Yeah. Just need to get a nice draft pick, and then hopefully go to draft.
You had mentioned Josh Allen's baby possibly being a vampire. That was you?
Yeah.
Puka Nacua might be a vampire, Tom.
Why?
He bit a woman when you were gone. Did you see that?
Oh, no. I saw that he was going to rehab, and my first thing was like, oh, all right, I hope he gets the help that he needs, and like, good on him for recognizing that. I didn't know he bit somebody.
Yeah, he bit a woman.
Oh,
hey, well, let me go to where's the article? Let me not mess up.
Did not see that. All I saw was like, because I saw people reporting it and I was like, this is, I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I should know this. Like, okay, but good on him. Go seek out the help that you need. But
out of nowhere, there's some weird shit going on with Puka this year. We all kind of started to see that, right? He was on Aiden Ross's live stream or whatever.
He's live streaming from the locker room, and his teammates were like, "Stop live streaming from the locker room." And
yeah, so Puka. This is from USA Today. Puka Nacua, star receiver for the Rams, has reason to think he'll avoid jail time despite a woman accusing Nacua of forcibly biting her on the shoulder and making an anti-Semitic statement at a group dinner on December 31st. Puka not charged with the crime. The city attorney's office handles only misdemeanors. LA carry maximum penalty of a year in jail or $1,000 fine. So like this news came out, and then a little bit after that, it came out that he has been in rehab or something like that with, I believe, drinking issues. And so hopefully, he is helping himself, and hopefully, some of that shit is not true, but that was the thing that happened before it came out.
Yeah, I didn't know rehab helped with anti-Semitism. I thought it was more just like, a drinking problem, drug problem, what have you. But
well, you can go to rehab for anything.
I didn't know that one. Okay. So didn't know bits of that one was news. Thank you for catching me up on that. I don't know if I feel better after learning that. This actually, real quick before we talk about the replacement refs, I love this for the Broncos. I was talking to some folks in Colorado or from Colorado in New Zealand.
Did we not talk about that?
Waddle? I don't think
was that how long you've been gone?
I mean, because I left like Wednesday. Yeah, I don't think we had GPS. I think that's what would happen. But yeah, I love this for the Broncos. I thought this was excellent because you're picking near the end of the first round. You're giving Bo Nix. Maybe we did talk. I thought we maybe did talk about this. You needed another wide receiver. Now Courtland Sutton doesn't have to do everything. And it makes all the sense in the world for the Dolphins because I did see that the Dolphins GM came out and was like, hey, by the time we're like rebuilt, right, and competitive, Waddle's going to be older. Right. And like he's going to command an amount of money that we're just not going to be able to pay him, and we're not going to be winning as many football. Like it just made logistical sense. And I think for the Broncos who have needed another really good target, I think Waddle's that guy. He's a really good receiver. I like Waddle.
Yeah, it was nice just to see them do something. It was like, okay, they re-signed everybody, all their own players, which you're rooting for your own guys to succeed, but you want to feel like you got better in the offseason, especially when you're that close to the Super Bowl. And then a big move for Jalen Waddle. Yeah, it's going to be nice. It was a sexy move, a much needed sexy move. And I do like the fit for the offense. There's the caveat that Davis Webb will be calling plays this year, so I don't know exactly how that'll change or, affect the offense, the production there. But another legit weapon opposite Courtland Sutton, which gives time to Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, whoever to be your number 3 guy. Hopefully, we saw Marvin Mims is really the impact player there, but Pat Bryant, if he's healthy, he was good. So it gives them depth and hopefully some explosiveness that they need more consistently in their passing game.
I agree with that. Yeah, let's talk about replacement refs. So this has been gaining some traction. So new collective bargaining agreement coming up with the officials. You saw a bunch of coaches and owners talk about how they want things changed in the game just to have a little bit more, I don't want to say accountability, but I guess more just real-time decision-making from the league to call out when there's egregious fouls that either aren't called, what have you. And so the NFL, they're talking to the officials association and trying to come up with a contract. It expires, I think it's the end
May
of May.
31.
Yeah. So May 31st. Apparently 2 weeks ago, they stopped talking. And so things are not going well. You've had sources inside the league say, like, we wish it was at a better place right now in terms of negotiating. And so the NFL is already starting to look at hiring college refs, aka replacement refs, for the preseason and potentially into the regular season if they don't get a deal. Now, this happened way back when. What was that, 2012? Right around there? It was like, what, 14 years ago? For the good old Fail Mary, and that's what ended that holdout real quick, or that lockout real quick. And so now we're talking about bringing replacement refs back once again. And on top of that, we had a new rule that was passed here. So the NFL owners passed a rule that will allow New York to correct a call on the field if they're using replacement refs. So if they wind up starting the season with replacement refs, then you're going to be able to have New York correct a call on the field if they screw it up. This is so great. How many billions of dollars does the NFL make? And it's like, hey,
20 plus.
This is great. This is so good for the game. Man, I'm so excited to get replacement refs back, especially when it didn't negatively impact my team whatsoever.
Yeah, well, the NFL's like, you know what? They'll be better this time because we're going to start this process a couple months earlier. And we'll fix the wrong calls. Will you fix the wrong calls if the regular refs are out there? No. What? We're going to bring in these less proven, shittier refs, and if they fuck up, we got a solution. But it's only going to apply to the backup refs at this moment. I don't know what any of this means right now.
There you go. Yeah, it's this is like a story that is like the worst part of the offseason. The fact that this could actually be a thing and the negotiations have stalled out. Yeah. Now, will it eventually come to an end? Yes. But the last time that happened, again, the Packers lost a Monday Night Football game because of the replacement refs. So I'd rather it not get to that point again, just personally. But man, that ref storyline in scripted this year is going to go hard, huh?
Thank you guys for promoting my coffee.
Just Waddle and the Boverthrow.
Can't Boverthrow a Waddle. Boverthrows weren't as bad last year.
So what do you think, buddy?
Well, there was another part of this too, because the NFL is part of the issue here.
Did it work?
And I learned that the NFL refs make a little more money than we thought. They average like $385,000 a year, NFL refs. And they're the only pro league, right, where they're technically like not full-time employees, which is something we talk about every year. And the issue the NFL currently has, though, is there's too many refs. Like some of their most, tenured refs in there, they have other real jobs.
Yeah.
Like as lawyers,
and
CEOs, and important jobs, and they're able to ref. And they're able to do basically split, half a year doing reffing, half a year doing this, and there's overlap or whatever. So the NFL created its own problem by allowing NFL officials to build and have other careers. And now to get to full-time refs, they have to do two things, which is one, increase their pay so much that
incentivize
those guys making probably more money doing those other jobs are willing to let those other jobs go, or they rip the Band-Aid off right now and they bring in refs who are only reffing, and this is how they start that process. Mm-hmm. The compromise should be somewhere in the middle where they're able to have at least a portion of the current refs be full-time, because there are refs that this is obviously making $385,000 a year.
Yeah.
You could just ref half the year and enjoy your life the other half with the money you're making.
Mm-hmm.
They need at least a third or half of the refs to be full-time. They have to phase out allowing them to do other careers while doing this. And then and part of what the refs are resisting is that their poorest performing refs could then be relegated to doing spring league football duties to basically get better in the offseason. The refs also did not want some of the accountability measures, and they wanted more money. I think it's fair for NFL refs to be the highest paid officials out there. But the other difference is, they work, 1, maybe 2 days a week versus if you're reffing or officiating in other leagues. If you're NBA ref, you're working every other night or every night or whatever the hell it is. If you're an umpire in the MLB, that's 180 games a season plus playoffs. Those jobs you're working a lot more. You're traveling a lot more doing those things. But it doesn't seem like they're talking to get to that compromise.
No, they stopped talking a couple weeks ago. So the Refs Association, they put out, the bottom line is our officials work for the wealthiest sports league in America with profits that far exceed any of the others. That's normally a point of pride for the NFL. However, our officials are substantially undercompensated when compared to baseball and basketball umpires and referees. Our officials also aren't provided the healthcare benefits that those at 345 Park Avenue have.
Yeah, so that's healthcare was the other part of that. So
yes. Also, the league sources expecting a lockout. We are so close to expiration and so far apart on economics that unless an act of God gets involved, the source said. And then again, this hasn't happened since 2012. Yeah, it's going to be, but apparently it's not just the economics, because you also, you want there to be more accountability.
Asking for accountability that's a fair ask.
But according to Roger Goodell, everything is fine. Everything has been fine with the officiating for years. Well, but you have coaches and owners who are like, no, that's not the reality of the situation. And so now there's pushback and
it's kind of rare, but without the threat of the replacement refs, the NFL in this situation doesn't have a ton of leverage.
No.
So the only way they can actually negotiate with the refs association is by saying that they have another option. Because if the NFL is just like, if the NFL doesn't say we will go and move forward with replacement refs, they can't function. They can't function this season without officials on the field. So I think the NFL's serious about their willingness to have replacement refs on the field because they've done it before and they can learn from those mistakes, but it's like a necessary evil for them just to be able to actually negotiate here.
Well, I mean, the NFL was the one who lost out on it last time too, because when this happened back in 2012, there's like, all right, we're going to put replacement refs on the field, and what's the worst that can happen? And it cost the Packers a football game,
it was that week 3. There was a bunch of games that were negatively affected, and then that was just the final game in prime time
on Monday night.
Final play, the exclamation point, the cherry on top of the shit Sunday, whatever you want to call it. The Ravens Patriots game was crazy. It had a ton of terrible calls. That ended controversy. There was 5 games, I think, that week that there's some sort of issue.
Yep.
What the NFL is not accounting for right now, and yes, they might be able to correct things via New York, which I think will save a lot of headaches. But the difference in terms of where we're at with social media right now versus 2012.
Oh, it's night and day.
Those early Sunday games, if something goes wrong there, they can't hide, right? Everything will be magnified.
It's going to be scrutinized to the max. Absolutely.
It's bad now with the regular refs.
Correct. I mean, and that's the thing. When you are talking about the product that is NFL football, this is the last thing that you want to talk about. This is the last thing that you want the focus to be on. It's like, oh, cool. Is officiating going to get worse? Great. That's something to look forward to. It just makes the product worse. But I think at some point you're just going to have an end to this, whether it's in the regular season because something has gone wrong yet again and it's just not sustainable, or they make a decision before the preseason.
That's the thing. Officiating in the NFL, it is. I think it's a very tough job.
Oh, sure.
It's fun to shit on the refs a lot, but if you're looking at officiating in the NFL versus the NBA, I think officiating in the NFL is better and more consistent, and it generally I think bad officiating in the NBA and the way it affects games is more noticeable. And I think part of like what we want as fans is officiating to be even more consistent. We want officials to have the benefit of having wrong calls corrected, because we know the difference too of like what an official sees on the field is vastly different from what we're able to see watching the game at home. And we want them to have those same benefits that we do, and we want them to have those benefits more consistently. And it seems like the answer is right there for the NFL and the refs, and they're just not willing to meet there yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Because I mean, even to also speak against the refs, right? And they did this, I don't know, was it like 2019 or something? When did they do that? They were challenging pass interference calls. It was a few years ago now. I don't remember the exact date. Yeah. But that was a crap show, man. Like, because it was just the refs they were refusing to be wrong, right? Like, they reviewed it, and for the majority of the time, there was like, no, there is no problem. So, like, I get it from the standpoint of increased accountability and refs pushing against that, because it's going to make their job a little bit more difficult. And like, it's challenge. You're seeing this in baseball right now, like with the I don't know what it's called, but they're able to review balls and strikes now, which I've seen a couple of clips of it, and it's already incredible, like of just how angry people get. So I get it. Your job is heavily scrutinized. But it's like you said, there has to be some balance in the middle where you're able to get officials who can do the best job possible while having oversight to make sure that the game is being played correctly, and also, compensate them fairly.
Yeah. Also, officials got to stop working drunk too.
Yeah, that's true. That's happening.
The pass interference thing, I don't even think that was the officials. I think that was a directive from the league. Like, the officials get their mandates from the league. Like, you got to emphasize these penalties. I think their directive was, don't be overturning a bunch of pass interference things, because we don't actually want this out there.
Look at roughing the passer, right? And look how over officiated that's been. Do I like or dislike the Daniel Jones contract extension? I think it's inevitable that they had to do this, because they were in a position where they just traded 2 first-round picks to go all in for Sauce Gardner, because they thought that they had a team that could compete and, I don't know, maybe win a Super Bowl. And now they're at a point where Anthony Richardson is not the guy. I think this makes it very evident. And so now they're forced to pay him a whole lot of money. So do I like the economics of it? No, but I don't think they really have a choice.
You could say they really painted themselves into a corner, huh, Tom?
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
They really painted themselves into a corner with that Sauce Gardner trade. Right, guys?
Yeah, they did.
Huh?
They did. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Yeah, Kirk Cousins, his agent, man. Oh, man, that is... Move over, Priceline negotiator. That's now Kirk Cousins' agent, because, man, he has done miracles.
I should have been an agent. That's what we should be doing.
Should done that.
I'll take $1 billion for my quarterback.
And they're like, okay. Yeah, it's the time. It's we are getting closer and closer to the draft. It does feel like there's significantly less hype for this draft class. People are already like, what about 2027? And looking at that, but
it's because there's not you got one quarterback. There's no mystery on who's going 1 overall at quarterback, and then the fall off from 1 to 2 is big, and then the fall off from 2 to the rest might even be larger. You don't have a bunch of top flight receivers. There's one running back going, like there's one consensus running back. A lot of the best prospects are defense.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of teams are going to get better on defense.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. As fans, you and I too, our team doesn't pick in the first round. So that sucks.
That's correct.
Plus you got what? There's 5 teams with multiple first round picks.
Stay puffed.
So we'll see.
Enjoy the day. I am very curious to see what teams like the Dolphins do, right? Or the Jets, what they actually do with those multiple picks. I'm interested in that. It's going to be a time. Hope you have a great birthday, by the way. Sorry about the work.
It's probably going to be a very solid draft for a lot of teams, but the sexy things aren't there.
That's fair. How long it take Aaron and Jordan to learn the new system? Will Jalen have some growing pains? I mean, I think you're going to have some growing pains regardless because you're just getting a new offensive coordinator, and usually it takes a few weeks to get things going. We'll see what their offseason program is going to look like. But I think also the larger thing and what Perna was talking about is the supporting cast. Like, is the offensive line going to be healthy? Is Saquon Barkley going to get back to, his incredible Madden cover ways? And if those answers are no, then it's going to be difficult regardless of who your offensive coordinator is. It just felt like when Patullo was there was a significant drop-off that was, you could see the run game not do as well. You could see the offensive line woes. You could see some issues, but it seemed like the play calling itself was not good. And I think like having Mannion there, a guy who has been hailed from Green Bay as like the potential next head coach, I think he's going to ultimately do a good job with what they have in Philadelphia. Yeah. But I think it's going to just take a little bit to get things going. Unless they come out, if Saquon Barkley is who he was, not this past season, but the season before, then that is going to make a whole lot of things easier and that transition a lot better.
Yeah, they're going to be running a Shanahan McVay type offense. I think that's more conducive to Jalen's strengths. Another question is AJ Brown going to even be there? Because right now the thought is they're going to trade him after June 1st. So that's a big part of their offense that could be gone.
It's true, Luke.
And I think it's about finding, in Jalen with Steichen and Kellen Moore, they probably didn't run the full offense that they wanted to run, but they found a good compromise in terms of what Jalen's strengths were, calling plays that fit what he did well and balancing it within the offense. And I don't think they had that with Patullo, and I think they probably will. It'll be closer with Mannion is my thought. But
we used to have that clip of Kirk Cousins singing in the choir.
Oh yeah, we
used to have that clip. That was a great clip. And now
we had to make space for it.
Just Kirk Cousins and Mendoza just hanging out together. Hanging on out.
I also love to touch kids of.
Hey, JK. That's man, and he's like doing something so nice.
I know, he's doing something
so wholesome, and it's just like, man, that could not have been worded worse. It
happens.
It happens. It's true. First Hall of Fame agent. Perna, what do you got coming out?
We got big video dropping today. Every year's biggest draft bust going back to the year 2000.
Wow. Okay.
Boom, 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 boom. It's a monster.
How long's that video?
14 hours.
Wow.
It's a little over 30 minutes, I believe.
Okay.
Johnny's been working on it for a while, so excited to get that up.
Yeah.
What do you got, Tom? Was it weird to try to get back and start writing shit?
I just got back Saturday night. And then I streamed yesterday. So yeah, it's taking me a hot minute. I'm going to try to get every fan's reaction to free agency out because I didn't get a chance to do that before I left.
Wow.
A little late on that one.
Every fan's reaction to the 2022 season.
That's pretty much what it is. I would go to an early season game for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I would go to an early season game.
While Malik Willis is still alive.
I would go to an early season game.
Yeah. Poor Malik Willis.
That's what I would do. So, does Kirk Cousins bring his serial killer ways to Las Vegas? I mean, it's prime for
Kirk
it.
Kills him, Hurts eats him.
Kirk and Hurt.
That's what we need.
That's what we do need. That. Yeah, just what a tag team duo. I mean, I would just want to see.
And Russell Wilson watches.
He just eats the danger witch in the corner. He still gets them. He's able to go into a Subway and still get them.
That looks spicy. That looks spicy.
Yeah, I mean, well, you got Emmanuel Wilson from the Packers, who was a nice RB2 option last year. It just depends if Charbonnet is going to remain healthy, right? But yeah, if he's going to be ready for, I don't think he's going to be ready for the season opener, right? So I think you might rock with Wilson for a while and then maybe go and get somebody late in the draft potentially. Maybe.
Yeah, I expect a heavy workload from Kenneth Walker.
I do too when he's on the Chiefs. Yeah.
Nope, he'll get traded back before the season starts.
Oh.
NFL is going to find the Chiefs have committed too many crimes to count, and their entire team will be disassembled.
Okay.
See, the Chiefs suck now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about him. Nobody's scared of him anymore.
I mean, I think with a good run game, they'll be better.
No, they're going to suck again.
We'll see. But folks, it's good to be back. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on Wednesday. We'll figure out something to talk about. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you reach your destination.